Jinteki, personal evolution. This is Identity Report on Legendary Tactics. So we're going to be walking through tonight the top 5 cards that I would recommend for Jinteki personal evolution. Jinteki personal evolution is a megacorp, and its ability is pretty awesome. It is that whenever you score an agenda or one is stolen, 1 net damage is done. So Jinteki in general is all about tricks and traps. So what you want to make sure that you're doing with your deck as personal evolution is to include a lot of tricks and traps in your hand. And you're going to definitely see this reflected in the cards, the top 5 cards that we have for Jinteki personal evolution. So starting with card number 5, that is Ronin. Ronin is a hostile. Ronin can be advanced. If there are at least 4 advancement tokens on Ronin, it gains click trash, and do 3 net damage. I will serve you for a time. So, with Ronin, you are going to be able to trash a lot of the runner's cards, and it's going to pair very nicely with Jinteki's personal evolution ability of trashing and scoring net damage on the runner's cards. And so I put number 5 as Ronin. Now, what you're going to want to definitely have with Ronin is number 4 card, which is Mushin no Shin, which is a operation double. So it does cost 2 clicks. As an additional cost to play this operation, you'll spend a 2nd click. However, you install an asset, i.e., you could install Ronin or an upgrade from HQ in a new remote server. You're going to place 3 advancement tokens on that card, and you cannot score or res that card until the next turn. However, if you notice, Ronin takes 4. So right away, you'll be getting 3 on Ronin, and you'll be setting yourself up quite nicely for a major play on the following turn. There is no cost to Mush no Shin, and it will actually allow you to have 1 extra click. So 1 starting click, and then you'll have to use Mush no Shin. That moves us to card number 3, Neural EMP. So Neural EMP is a gray ops. Now you have to play this only if the runner made a run during his or her last turn, and you do 1 net damage. So the Neural EMP, it does cost 2. However, it will also whittle down cards. In combination with the previous 2 cards, it is fairly deadly. And it is another way, especially if you have multiple of these cards in hand, you can really, you could probably actually beat the runner if you had multiple cards plus Ronin in hand. So and ready to score. Moving to card number 2, Fatal AI. So now I know this is an agenda. It is a 5 point agenda, so you do have to place 5 advancement tokens on it, although that is not really why we like this card. This card's punishment is quite substantial. So it is worth 2 agenda points. But if Fatal AI is accessed from R&D, the runner must reveal it. When the runner accesses Fatal AI, do 2 net damage. Ignore this ability if the runner accesses it from archives. So don't dump Fatal AI in archives. That is a must not. And as an additional cost to steal Fatal AI, the runner must spend $2. So the runner has to spend 2, takes 2 damage, plus the damage from personal evolution. So you're talking about a 3 in total net damage, and a 2 cost for 2 points. So that is a fairly powerful card with personal evolution. That moves us to card number 1, which is Snare. Now, for a lot of you who play Netrunner, you know that Snare is pretty powerful. It is an ambush card. If Snare is accessed from R&D, the runner must reveal it. If you pay $4 or credits when the runner accesses Snare, do 3 net damage. Give the runner 1 tag. And again, ignore this ability if the runner accesses snare from archives. So again, snare is absolutely useless in archives, but in your hand, on the mat, or in R&D, snare is deadly. Now you do need to make sure that you do have 4 credits in hand. But having 4 credits in hand with snare will give the runner a lot of hurt. So that is 3 net damage, 1 tag. And it does cost 4 credits. So those are the 5 cards that I would definitely recommend in any Jinteki personal evolution hand. Now, there are 2 splash cards that I would highly recommend that you put into your personal evolution deck. The first being Scorched Earth. So, Scorched Earth says, if the runner is tagged, that you do 4 meat damage. So that is pretty punishing, and the runner has to have a specific card to block meat damage versus the net damage that personal evolution does run. So it does cost 3, but you can almost assuredly, with the other cards having been played, flatline the runner if you do it rightly. The last card that you do want to have in your splash is Jackson Howard. So Jackson Howard, for a click, you can draw 2 cards. It's an asset or an executive card, and you can have that down in a server. You will remove Jackson Howard from the game whenever you want, and you will shuffle 3 cards from archives into R&D. So it is a failsafe. So if you've got cards in archives that you want back in the game, for example, Snare. For example, if you've headed up a Fatal AI, a Neural EMP, any of these cards that we've had, all 5 of our cards that we picked as our top 5 could potentially come back into the game with Jackson Howard. This is a very powerful card to have in game. Never, if you can help it, let the runner trash his card for 3. Okay, if you've got anything in archives that as personal evolution that you want back, you want to make sure that you play Jackson Howard to return these 5 cards back into the R&D. Jinteki, personal evolution, a very, very powerful ability. Now, a word of warning, its ice is extremely weak. Jinteki ice in general is very weak. It's not known for its strong ice, so you may want to splash in some other ice, some maybe Wayland ice or NBN ice, especially like a toll booth. But if you can help it, you want to ensure that these tricks and traps are out. You're also going to want to make sure that you have some kind of a revenue source, maybe a pad, maybe some beanstalk royalties, whatever it takes to make sure that money is coming in your way, because it will cost. But the upside is that you are most definitely going to flatline the runner if you have these 5 cards, these 2 splash in your hand with personal evolution. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And this has been Legendary Tactics.